Chicago, born and raised in Chicago. My mother, everyone. My grandparents, both mother and father, on both sides, are Mississippians, supposedly from Mississippi. My last name given to me, all my life I've been told it was Cherokee Indian.
It was what?
Cherokee Indian.
Cherokee? Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
so no one. It's funny because no one like know any information. And my grandfather he passed in '83 before I was born. But my grandmother, my mother, her no one has any information in regards to this man and his family. But it's a lot of us drink waters in Chicago, and I just don't understand that. So when I
Okay, now
started,
let me tell you our culture. This may help you understand it. Some of the men in the era had more than one wife.
mhm,
And when the invaders came, if they knew us because we would have more than one wife, and they'd murder us, which made the women then tell him, "You gonna either stay the fuck over there, or you just gonna stay over here. You not gonna be jumping back and forth." So he might have had multiple households that all of them got the same last name, and they might not none of them know each other,
wow, that's interesting.
right? But it was done. It used before the invaders came. Everybody would have knew. It wouldn't have been no secrets. But they was using that as the means to murder us. So the women became protective and made the man have to choose to be with only one part of his family.
Mm, that makes sense. They had 9 children together, but supposedly my mother in specific, is not his. Which I honestly, in my heart, I feel some truth to that, and that's what I was saying when I was asking you a question about if I'm real. I didn't get a chance to finish typing because I'm like my grandmother, and I've been very people, and I know that I get that probably from over there, and so it's important for me
The
to
most
have that
important
book.
thing for you after what you went through, the most important thing that you know is the why did they put that in our culture? If they wanted to traumatize you as early as possible, as severe as possible, because 9 out of 10 you have the blood right to claim a position of prominence in our community, and they wanted to tarnish you mentally, to scar your mind. So they abused the body in order to dement the mind, to keep you from ever wanting to know who you was.
Mhm.
Because the follow up to what they physically do in the processor rate is the shaming campaign that follows,
Mm.
which makes women not ever.
Some don't want me.
So they go through life trying to hold it in until it explodes,
Mm.
right? This, as long as you holding that in, you can never attain your highest height because that type of trauma keeps you always on the defense and always in a fear mode.
And like all my grandmother, her sisters and her brothers, they know, but no one will ever open up their mouth to say yay or nay if my grandfather, as I know, is my mother's father. But I feel entitled to my name. I feel entitled to my name. My baby son, I had to name him after me instead of all of the other children is my husband, but I had to name my baby son a drink water purposely because he's the last one.
Okay, stop. What you telling me is something that's common in our culture.
Um,
Whether that guy was your mother's biological father or not.
Mhm.
There's a strong love bond.
Mhm.
The love bond is stronger than the blood bond.
Okay.
And your mother is the one telling you to name your son. Is she still here?
Yeah, but she didn't want me to have him.
So is her mother still here?
No.
That's who it is. She driving that car. She's the one telling you to name him that. She's saying that your grandfather was a good ass man no matter what the fuck he did. He
Okay.
took care of his business and his family. So she creates in you from the mother line, she's able to tell you because you are oracle, right? You just haven't been accepting of your own gifts.
Mhm.
You kind of run from them a little bit.
Mhm. I'm
But
working
she
on
can
it.
communicate with you strong. And she's the one who was putting it on your heart to name your son that after him. That's a
Mhm.
love bond and a love relationship that's stronger than any blood relationship.
My grandmother was a hard ass vice lord though. She ain't play. She was straight. My
She
most
probably was
my
one of
essence.
she probably was one of my mama friends.
And you know my family still carry it. We're from
Look,
44th and Sister Road, Leclerc Court.
yeah, my mom and them used to be all through there. My father used to run on 43rd in Prairie and Calumet.
That's
My
crazy.
uncle used my uncle had a gambling joint on 43rd and Calumet in the basement.
That's crazy. And then my daddy is Summer Ross, so they from down there too. But I haven't even stepped into them Summer Ross over there. But my daddy is a Summer Ross, so it's like everyone in Leclerc Court, I am related to in some form of way. Some form of a way.
Yeah.
Everybody is my cousin. But thank you. You gave me something. That Oracle situation, I really am working on that because I don't know how to get around it to like open up to it.
Okay, so look, you got to determine what training wheels you need. The training wheel you'll be drawn to by the energy that connects you to your family line. It's going to either be tarot cards or crystal ball or the rune stones, or it could be the I Ching. Just look into it. Don't make your mind up about nothing. Just look into them,
Mhm.
and then you'll get a feeling, and you'll know. I need a crystal ball, or I need a mirror, scrying mirror. You know, you'll just know, and that's when you'll start the training to tune in to the inner voice.
Okay. Thank you.
And you do you got a picture of your granny?
I can get one. I don't have one. I can get one. Yeah. Yes, I do have one.
Because if you make an ancestral altar, put two white candles, one on each side of the picture,
Mhm.
right? And you can honor her with water. But if you know what she like if you know she says she died her vice lord, she might want to smoke Newports
She
and
want a
drink motherfucking
Budweiser.
Hennessy.
She want a
Right.
Budweiser and some
So
damn
when
fish
you
fries.
honor her, you give her what made her happy.
Okay.
Don't nobody else gotta agree with it. Don't nobody else gotta understand it. But it's called creating a sympathetic link.
Okay.
Right. So then it'll start getting where you'll be comfortable feeling her energy to the point where you'll know when she there. It'll almost be like you come in to greet her with a beer and you can hear her saying, "Hey baby, brought my beer. Come
And
on in here and
that's
grab
how
my."
I think I do with my cousin, but I'm in the
Right.
world
So
also.
when you listening, when you dealing with the author, listen for her voice. And all of the chatter that go on in this box, say just cut it all off. Say, go on, I just want to hear grandma.
Mhm.
Right? And she'll push her way through the crowd to the front.
And I think that's what my auntie do in my dreams. My auntie Jackie, she does that in my dreams. I dream about her a lot, but I seem to. think or hear my cousin Demetrius more, but I know that my grandmother is in here and she is driving.
She could be the one trying to tell you to bump them straight. Look, but they are cold. They masters of trying to make people do what's right.
Mhm.
Right? We just got invaded from a mirror dimension where they elders only wanted to do what's wrong. But in
Mm.
their dimension, everything wrong to us is right to them.
Everything is opposite.
Yep. Upside down and backwards. So your granny will send you who you need to correct or who you need to work with in order to heal the family line,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
So Granny orchestrating it. She y'all big mama. She was the matriarch. So when she go on the other side, she gonna orchestrate it into the matriarch that's got the most links in the physical world cross over again. And then they gonna work together.
I don't know. I don't
Right.
understand that part, but I'll figure it out. I'm gonna ponder upon
It's
it.
like a baton race, relay race with the baton,
Mhm.
right? When the matriarch that just crossed over go over, they give her the baton. Okay, you run this race now. And you communicate with them motherfuckers down there because you the one was down there with them,
Mhm.
right? Because it's going to be a whole new generations that rise up. That the one that's on the other side, they didn't work with the energy before, but from that side, but now when the new matriarch cross over, she have to work with that energy because she know everybody intimately and up close personal in both physical and spiritual.
And she understands
Where
my
the other,
language. She
right, where
understands my
the other
language.
one, yeah,
I speak
where,
to her and sing to her, and she understands what I'm. I know who you're talking about.
hmm
That's the right
so
one.
that's how they operate. It's a relay race. It's the same here. We the elders now. There was a time when we was the children and we was the promise for the future. But there was only one promise for the future, and that was for redemption for all the dirt we didn't was suffered through the past.
Mhm.
So now we came back to recover, redeem, and restore everything that they tore down.
And
As Pac say, we back for everything they owe.
yeah, this investigation book, just like you said. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You welcome.
My heart is beating fast. So thank you. I appreciate you, Grand Wizard.
Okay, sweetie. You be in touch. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you. Good
All
night.
right. Yeah. Okay. Look and see if I got a question before I cut out. You don't need permission to take your child out of school as long as you disassociate from this whole system. Watch the animals. When the animals disappear from any area, it's time to get the fuck low. If the animals run the high ground, that's where you need to go. If the animals run to the low ground, that's where you need to go. If they run to the high ground, most likely it's water coming. If they run to the low ground, most likely it's weather, wind related coming, right? And just pay attention to the animals from wherever you at, and you should know what to do from there. I'm gonna take one more call, y'all. Or maybe I'm not. Yeah. All right, so that's a wrap on this one. Be ye warned, don't fuck with them chosen ones. You know, this is one of the few things that y'all need to get. Them certain ones, y'all don't need to be messing with them. Jackie Wilson, baby, y'all need to leave that girl alone. Let her go on about her business. Cause y'all mess around trying to put conjure spells on her and that shit come back 10,000 times fold. Don't say you wasn't warned. Leave that girl alone. That Blue Rose Tarot, Blue Rose, don't be over there fucking with that woman, heckling her on her shit. She minding her business, trying to do what's right, following spirit. The guy gonna whoop y'all ass, and the guy gonna come from within you. It ain't gonna come from outside you. But y'all can't be fucking with them chosen ones. No, that shit over with. And we not even like our ancestors, our elders, because we not kissing y'all ass this time. We kicking it. And that's the way it is. So let y'all be warned. Before y'all start fucking with the ones that's trying to do what's right, you either should help them or get the fuck out the way. Don't try to interfere with them doing what's obviously the right thing to do. Right? So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank y'all for coming over. Hope I was able to be of some good service and assistance to y'all. And I'm off and running to the next day.
I went to Tuskegee Institute back then. It's Tuskegee University now, and we had professors that was putting people on game back then.
Mm-hmm.
So we right now, what's happening now is everything's come full circle.
Yep.
Yeah,
It all got to, all the bullshit got to come to an end now.
that's it. It's celebration time now. We done
Yep.
did the hard work.
The heavy lifting, as they say.
Been called crazy. Then been put out the family and said, "Oh, he don't know what he's talking about." Now they
I
all
tell a
running to you for
motherfucker in a
question
heartbeat.
now.
I tell a motherfucker in a heartbeat, I'm the heat. The rest of them Christians.
That's
I'm the
it.
one that'll go out in the woods with a goddamn cloak on and make a whole motherfucking turnaround to a situation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it. That's me. All day long. Yes,
But
sir.
first, I gotta try to do it on its own merit before I use any of that shit.
That's true. That's true. I do have one question for you, though, Rod. Before I
Mm-hmm.
get off here, um, in the area where I'm from, there's a tribe, a local tribe, and I volunteer with them, and we hand out food and everything once a month. And they've been trying to get me to link up with them and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with the nation. You know what I'm saying? But I just ain't with the politics of it. But do you think that's a wise move to join in like that?
You feel your way through that one, player.
Hmm.
You got to
Yeah.
know the people you dealing with, and know that you tied to the land, and you know their ears too.
Right. Right.
They don't necessarily got to look like us to be on the frequency,
Hmm.
but
Right.
their behavior pattern is a pattern that we call righteousness.
Right.
That's their default behavior pattern,
Right.
right? So that's why they talk about in all them books, the ways of the righteous, they talking about the shit that we gonna automatically do anyway, just because it's the right thing to do.
There you go. And
We don't
see,
need
really,
no
how? Go ahead.
we don't need no excuse.
That is.
Speak. You see a man. You see if a man be mischaracterized, and you see the mischaracterization. Speak the fuck up.
That's it. That's
You
it.
don't, you don't know your voice contributed with the voice of everybody else speaking the fuck up and make a difference.
That is, and kind of, I'm like this. I always been the type. If I'm gonna test to see how deep the water is, I ain't gonna put both feet in there. But by working and doing volunteer work with them, I had a chance to kind of see the ins and outs and how people are and how they do things and everything like that. So I'm feeling my way through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you got to ask yourself certain key questions. How
Hmm.
did you get there? What brought you there? And why are you there now?
Hmm. Yeah.
Look at the energy you riding in your life when you ask the
Hmm.
question. Then know where the energy from the land is guiding your steps.
Hmm.
You ride the
Yeah.
energy. You ride the energy frequency of what they call a prelayed pattern. According to the turns you make, the pattern unfolds itself And when you run into a bad spot, that's where the door stop. Boom. And then you monkey flip until you can see your way clear.
There you go. I got you. 100%, my brother. And just let you know, I'm just thankful, man, that source has brought you in here at this place and time. You know what I'm saying, to reveal the information that we needed and to unify the people on right knowledge about who they are, not what people have told us. You know, because I'm from the older generation, and most of my friends they stuck in that old way of thinking. But this is the time that we in. I tell them a lot of times. I say, man, y'all can stay there if you want to, but you don't either have to get right or get left.
And all this shit can be read about in the prophecies of Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus, the
Hmm.
blind Baba from Russia, the blind Sheikh. All of these motherfuckers prophesied the same shit at this particular time. They gave the great teacher will arrive somewhere around the year 2019, and he will begin to teach nations.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right?
sir.
They all prophesied the same thing. They just told it from a different way.
From a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we got to understand. Too many people think that their opinion of something is what it is, and it ain't about opinions. It's about truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's many ways to get to the truth, but the truth ain't but one thing. What it is
Well,
what it is.
you know the story of the world just lie.
Yes, sir.
So truth just running around with the lie just running around with truth clothes on. But I just stripped that motherfucker bare down to the butt naked truth.
But naked. That's what we call it.
Mm-hmm. So
All
now
right, my
you,
brother.
yeah,
I just gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna drop down, and let somebody else get in, man. I just wanted to holler at you, acknowledge you, and let you know, man. I'm
appreciate
on
it.
the same page with you. I'm riding with you, brother, all the way to the bottom, to the top.
Yep, till the wheels fall off this motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace, God. Media has become the universal method of communicating around the world. We can get on Facebook and Instagram and do a video that reach people in China, Japan, and in Europe,
Mhm.
right? Where years ago we didn't have the option when Malcolm X was around and um, Dubois and Medgar Evers. They didn't have the option to have the internet and to stay in the safety of their home while they tell the people what's really going on.
Right, they couldn't.
The ones who used to try to figure the problem out instead of going out in the streets marching, I ain't finna do that. Not for my own shit. I'm not finna be out here buck dancing for these people. Not for my own shit. And Mama had to leave me a means to find what's rightfully ours and how to recover it. And one of the things she kept saying to me was always look for the wisdom, right? And so, understanding that, I searched through the minds of great thinkers in order to find out what is this stuff they call wisdom. Because if I can't buy it in a bottle, I got to find it somewhere. I'm thinking this as a child. So if I can't find it in a bottle, where am I find it at? Right? So the discovery comes in is you find the wisdom at the feet of the masters, right? The first master is mama. So starting from mama, who says the stuff that gives you the best result when applied to life? And this, as a child, made me pay attention to the elder women.
Mm.
And the elder women was the ones, especially the ones that talk harsh and use profanity. We call them big mamas. They harvest the energy of prime creator in order to be guides to the family. Under the patriarchal system, we've been taught to call them old bitches and don't pay them no attention. And they telling us the solution to all of the world's problems, but we ain't listening as a collective. Some of us do. Some of us know if mama say don't go down that street, 'cause something bad gonna happen, go the other way. Go the other way. Because if you go down that street, you're gonna walk right into the BS. I did it 1,000 times because I learned the hard way every time. And the hard lesson is the lesson that you're gonna learn and gonna internalize the deepest. Because it's gonna hurt the most that you keep going through the same foolishness. But when you wise up, that's gonna become entrenched in you as your biggest lessons, the ones that was hardest to learn. And the hardest lesson to learn was at the feet of the masters is to follow the voice of the women who give wise guidance. And you can tell the difference by the character of the women, right? So when I see you on here complain about them calling Noble Drew Ali a false prophet, some in my soul say you can't just let that go. You got to say something.
Mm-hmm.
So I said something.
You
A
did.
lot of the Moors is like, what is this thing? Where did he come from? I thought he hated all the Moors. I keep telling them over and over, I'm not anti-Moor, I'm anti-dirty Moor. So, and so I started studying great people because I didn't really know what a master was. But the great people's information, they give references to other great people who turns out to be masters, right? And in our community, each one teach one, we all got to reach some. And if we reach enough, we can spread the information. Now, the land, the Mississippian rule, this is deep culture, organic North America. Any culture that comes on the land, we have to have a significant influence on it through the arts and the entertainment so we can use these things in the time of crisis to communicate the recovery from the oppression or whatever adverse force overtakes us on the land. Now we have to time the solution in order to correctly end the problem. So, in the course of the studies, when you run across Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Prince Hall, David Walker, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, you don't look at them in their conflicts, you look at them in their agreements, right? So they tell us that Du Bois and Garvey don't get along because Garvey is what you call a totalitarian recovery expert. In other words, he come to recover the whole of the original structures from its original source out of the Blue Lodge, where Du Bois comes from a different angle or perspective of view. He said that only a 10%, what we call the talented tenth, will ever do anything of significance to rise to positions of prominence in any society. Therefore, we should focus on isolating that talented tenth and maximizing the input in the bang, right? Now we go from the talented tenth to um, a 5%er, right? Because all of the talented tenth is not working in the interest of the collective. Most of them is working in their own self-interest. We don't care about that. You can work in your self-interest, but you have to leave an indelible impression that can be read by future generations to leave a blueprint or a pattern to put the puzzle pieces together on how to recover from the condition, right? So the 5%ers teach that 85% of the people blind, deaf, and dumb and don't know what's going on. And 10% of the people know what's going on and they're not doing nothing about it. But there's 5% of the people that know what's going on that's working to raise the other 85% to awareness to overcome the tyranny of the 1% who was extracted from the 10%. So the 1%ers is what they call the people that's ruling the world as elites. Has a system at play, and if we figure out their system, we can reverse engineer the society in order to find out how to get back to our rights and our ability to reclaim the land based on our birthright to the land at the close of the age. Most of us don't know that it's a universal law that we are obligated by universal law, the organics of the world, at the close of every age, no matter what's going on, to shut it all down. Anything that is destructive to the ends of the collective is dispensed with, and anything found to be a benefit is used as a bridge to the next coming age. So now we leave in the age of Pisces, the water age of believing, to the air age of Aquarius. But remember, the Aquarian man carries a pitcher of water that's being spilled. Water is the symbol for spirit. So what it's telling you is we going from spiritually believing stuff with no information to support why we believe it to the mental aspect of spiritually knowing exactly what we see in the Aquarian age. So earlier I was saying about we had to be able to see the signs significantly enough in order to know when to take to make our move. Now, I came out to do this work when I came home from prison back in 2008. But everybody I went to shut the door in my face. They all said that I ain't have no degrees, I ain't had no alphabets behind my name, therefore I wasn't qualified, right? But not until Farrakhan gave a speech and Khalid Muhammad left and he said, "You think I didn't need a brilliant mind like Khalid Muhammad?" Well, Khalid, my man. I'm just like that motherfucker, but I think a little deeper, right? Everything he be saying, I feel that way, but it's one problem. He was trying to go against the rules. He was trying to fight the enemy in the physical when it's a spiritual war taking place, right? You can't fight a physical war that's spiritual. You have to fight the spiritual side and let the effects manifest in the physical arena. In this case, we use universal law weaponized to fight tyranny and oppression around the world. And after you go through the dark night of the soul, you begin to see the pattern in which universal laws apply. And this is where me learning the functions, structure, and intricacies of civics and the changing of rulership in past historical contexts in both hostile situations such as a coup d'etat to more amicable transformations such as a king seceding from the throne and another king ascending in his place. There is a civics solution to the problem. Well, the first time I became aware that there was a civics solution to the problem is when Noble Drew Ali said that I started a civics organization. The contradiction that made me raise an eyebrow is ask why are they pattern it now as if it's a religion, right? So that took me back to Albert Pike's The Morals and the Dogma. Because under the civics, there's no dogma involved because you unraveling the legalese. But if you can get them to chase the dogma, they won't really take the civics serious enough in order to exercise a superior jurisdiction to overthrow the imposters on the land because the only way you can do it is to go back to your original system. Your original system is a matriarchal system based off the oral decree of the chieftains in agreement across the land, that which benefits the most amount of people from each of the clans.
Wouldn't there be necessity really to go back to the original system in doing that? Wouldn't there be a necessity of shedding ourselves or divorcing ourselves of all the religious attachments, the dogma that we've taken on to be, Christians and to be, this
Well,
denomination that, I mean, from a standpoint of when we realize that those things were actually put in place to put us under subjection.
right.
So
So the
would we have to
religious
shed those? in order to get back to the original?
Um, at this point of the discovery process for the collective, they can use whatever path of spiritual development they choose to, as long as they don't turn a blind eye to the other paths, right? And this is where the polarization comes out, as Noble Drew Ali called it, as a religious controversy. We are remember we are allelopathic and we are naturopathic first, right? That means that all things have to go back to stasis, which is the state of balance, right? So when you abruptly tell somebody who's been in the church for 75 years, hey, drop that some garbage. The shock to their system could cause a healing crisis to a significant degree to make them lose their mind. If you go back to Elijah Muhammad, he said if you wake them up too soon, you're driving crazy. And that's why he used to keep saying, make it plain enough for a baby to understand it,
So
right?
what are we trying to get folks that are steeped in any level of dogma to understand? You know, from what my where I come from, having been a pastor for 10 years,
Hmm.
and seeing the good and the ugly. You see it all, and in between.
Okay, so
But
let's
yeah,
use.
I mean, I'm saying indoctrination, and like you mentioned earlier, 12-step program, and the various all of these things were things that affects the mind of people. Fear, reverence, so that you don't think outside the box. Having to reverence something that is unseen while ignoring the obvious inside of yourself. All of those things to me have been designed to not allow us to get back to the natural. I mean, you're saying, I know, don't, and I do know what you mean about not waking up folks too soon. I mean, or not all of a sudden. Although for my personal awakening, it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was in a service, and all of a sudden I was snatched out of it in an out of body experience. And the next day, I'm up in the pulpit preaching my swan song, because right after that, I'm everybody's going, because now I'm like you say crazy. They say about you, I was crazy. But for me, maybe that was the way it had to happen. And but for the masses, when you to get critical mass, and nothing really happens, I don't think, until you get enough minds thinking the same. So in your going through, I want to go back to your dark night of the soul before you get too forward, because you kind of skipped over. You said when I came out of prison in 2008, but what about those years prior to 2008? What How about the time when you were, you ended up apparently veering from what Big Mama was saying, because you were running up, maybe you were running from your calling, but in that captured, if you will, situation. What happened to you there? What were you doing during those times?
So when I first got caught up and locked up, I remember the voice of sisters that I used to hear give words of wisdom. I was in Cook County Jail. I was in there. I was like on my second or third day in there, and a bald head guy named Hawk came with a sister. I can't remember her name, and they were actually Christians, but she wasn't coming with the dogma. She was coming with raw common sense. And one of the things she said was that stuck with me. And she said, some of y'all finna get a lot of time. She said, but don't worry about that. You can't stop that. You can't lock yourself in. There is no escape, even if you want to. She said, but the best thing that you can do is don't let them take the time from you. Use the time. Learn everything you can while you in there. You don't need no degree, but get your PhD. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that makes so much sense. So this, if I apply this to my prison term, if I get time out of this, and I apply what she's saying, when I get out of prison, I can have the knowledge of a professor at a university in the amount of time that I'm about to get, that I don't know I'm about to get this much time, right?
Mhm.
And so in the end, they gave me 18 to 50 years in prison, right? And during my Cook County stint, well, that was like a year and a half, I end up coming across, I just started realizing that all of the um, most potent members of our community, the organic indigenous people, was in these cages, right? And I got introduced by different ones, by different people. Like this the leader of the Maniac Disciples, name is Ferg. I met my cousin introduced me to him on our way to court, right? Then in the bullpen, it was some BGs, black, what they call black gangsters, that was high ranking, and he introduced me to them, right? I had a vice lord introduce me to Willie Lord, and it was kind of odd to me when he done that because um, we in we walking through the day room, he calling me over there where his chief at to introduce me to his chief. But he told me beforehand, he said, man, I want to introduce you to Willie Lord, right? And I was like, okay. And because we was watching him on the news get arrested. And when he got in there, he was downstairs in a cell block called ABO in Division 1. So he came up on the visit. They brought him up to A1 where I was at. And so Lil J, who was a 4-star elite vice lord, he said, come here, man, I want you to meet somebody. And he walked over, he said, stay right here. So I'm standing on the other side of the day room, and he went and said a couple words to Willie Lord, and he waved me over there. He said, hey Lord, I want you to meet him, man. And he told me who I was, his name Rod. And back then I was studying with a Nation of Islam guy named Everett X, who was teaching me about now this is all within the first year of being locked up. But he was teaching me Nation of Islam doctrine, and they was calling me Rod X, right? But they was calling me that like a nickname because I hang out with the Nation of Islam guy all the time. But they all knew that I was under the GD banner. And so when he introduced me to Willie Lord, the whole day room stopped talking and they looking. And what he said caught my attention. He said, hey Lord, this one right here, this the one. I don't know what that shit means. Right? And he shook my hand and he says, it's good to meet you, young brother. He said, stay on the straight and narrow. That's all he said. He didn't give me no conversation. We didn't go into nothing. We just greeted each other, but he told me to stay on the straight and narrow. I know what that means from church, and I know what that means from Everett. And we discussed it, right? Staying on the straight and narrow mean walk straight, right? Don't let these people push you off your path.
Mhm.
Now, when Everett X had to leave, he went upstate, and the last thing I told him, I was like, "Man, this is a big deal. I don't know if I could do it." He looked at me, and I could see the Elijah Muhammad in his face when he started smiling. He said, "Oh, you got this." And then he recited the story of Hiram Abiff, and he said, "You're gonna need that later." And then I heard Farrakhan go over the story of Hiram Abiff, right? And
Mhm.
when I started studying the story, after I got out of prison, I started seeing certain events unfolding that was unnerving to me because this was starting to tell me there's a Masonic connection to my birthright. So now I have to study the lodges deeper than I already have because I was going through a secret society investigation while I was studying with the Nuwabians in prison. So we was going through, well, I was going through each secret society reading entire text on them. Where Malachi had a book out called Secret Societies Unmasked, where he got a little part about all of them. So I started to get books from their perspective about their doctrine, right? But it became more enhanced when I came home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And um, so during the course of these years, normally my temperament, I would have been, I would what they call ready to ride. I was always ready to ride, but it had to be one condition: I got to be right. The only reason why I feel like that is because my mama used to tell me when I was little that don't start nothing and you're gonna always win it. You got to always be in the right. So I don't start nothing, but I sure finish it. I don't got no problem finishing it. And I remember my father saying that a man always moves straight. He said, "Man, don't do all that funny, swervy, shifty stuff." That's not how he was talking to his friends in our garage. So this was one of my lessons on being a man from my father that really impacted my life because I always came at people straight. And Mama said, respect those who respect you, but you got to give respect to get respect. That means if I'm at your house, in order for me to get respect at your house, I got to first give you respect. I got to come in peace in order to receive peace and the blessing upon arrival. So everywhere I went, I held that in the forefront of my mind. And everybody that I met them from a level of respect, and it was returned. And this is why, as a GD, I'm over in Motown on 50th in May, living in the complex in the All Stone neighborhood. The only folks is on 50th place, right? So I gave them their respect because that's their land. I already know to honor them on their land and give them their due respect. And they drew an attachment to me from being respectable and being respectful of their place. So I ran into a couple of confrontations with some of the stones, but it was always resolved in the manner of respect. So I didn't ever have a problem with stones and vice lords being stones and vice lords. I didn't never see them as enemies because I knew we had the same enemies. So I didn't know how to categorize what I'm looking at, but I know that whoever it is that's infiltrating stones and vice lords is the same people infiltrating the GDs. I understand the literature of the GDs. And I understand the literature that I was given by vice lords. And I understand the literature that I was given orally by Stones and Crips and Bloods. And I'm seeing a pattern that this is the behavior that's ancient on the land. If this behavior is ancient on the land, I got to see it somewhere else. Here, lo and behold, it emerges. It's the structure of the Nation of Islam. It's the structure of the 5% nation. It's the structure of Yahweh ben Yahweh's Hebrew Israelites. It's a repeating pattern. It's a tribal structure from the top to the bottom. How we used to perform in the old ways where we was in all parts of the land, but we never had conflicts with people on their portion of the land. Because we understood that who we are is predicated up on honoring those in respect when you in their house. You can't come in somebody's house and just superimpose your will. So whoever the imposter is the ones who came in our house and is doing what we don't normally do.
Makes sense.
So when I start tracing it back, I end up with the 32-degree Scottish Rite, Morals and Dogma, George Washington, Albert Pike, um um the guy that started the Illuminati, Adam Weishaupt.
Mm.
Three different personas of the same person. But most people can't see the pattern. I couldn't see the pattern originally until I was studying forensic profiling in the mechanics of it. And I wanted to do a forensic profile on the biblical God character, which turned out horrible, by the way. Turned out horrible. Turns out that he's a sociopathic narcissist, early bedwetter who has mama issues and daddy issues and don't know his own identity and sexuality, who feels that he should be held in superiority to other people just because who he is, where other people become less than him. This biblical God character can't be no God. He got to be some kind of mortal masquerading as a God through written literature because that's not the characteristics of the God form. So that came from a Q&A that I had in Saginaw Correctional Facility with some University of Michigan psychologists who came to do a lecture at the prison. And during the course of the lecture, I had asked them, had anybody done a psychological evaluation of the biblical God character because I couldn't find it. And they assured me that as far as they knew, one of them had like 35 years in psychiatry and psychology. One was a psychologist for over 45 years. The other one was a psychiatrist for over 40 years. And none of them had heard of anybody having the audacity to do a psychological profile in the since it became known on this character from the Bible.
Now, with that, let me just interject my little bit of my knowledge from what I learned versus what I was taught versus what I learned afterwards in awakening process. We see God in the Bible somewhat as schizophrenic and bipolar and can't make up his mind about his love or hatred for his creation, when in fact we're not talking about one being, we're talking about more than one. We're talking
Hmm.
about at least two majors and then minor
But
characters
okay,
who
so
would
that
come
goes
in with
back
it.
to what that's the schizophrenic tendencies and the sociopathic personality disorder. Bobby E. Wright wrote a book called The Psychopathic Racial Personality. That's the God character summed up in under 200 pages.
But if he is making this so-called God into one being with all of these personalities, I tend to disagree. I see multiple beings
Right, because you're
competing
looking at it for what the
competing.
story you're looking at
Yeah,
it for what the story is saying in its original language.
right, right.
I'm looking at the God that they given the people
In the Bible.
in the they saying it's the God of the Bible.
The so-called Bible. Well, I mean, they created the Bible anyway, so
Right.
it is the God
But
of their
even
Bible.
that,
They
but look,
created the Bible.
right. But even that, the character, right? We know
Hmm.
that the character comes from a series of gods merged into one person. Well, we call it a condensed God formula. They take all of the gods, give them one name as one person, and you change those names in the translation, and the layman will never know.
Right.
But the biblical seminarians know they lying to the people, and in order to get they preaching certification, they just go along with the lie,
That's what we do.
go along to get along. So if you continuously go along with the lie, you can't liberate nobody or free nobody mind because you live in a lie.
But I'm gonna say this, Rod, just like I've said when the times when Grand Sheik has made this like sort of like
City in California flood should raise your eyes because the people in California they don't. It's too dry out there to have
Yeah,
floods like
that's
that.
right. That's right. It's too the way the ground. Then it's mountains. A lot of parts. When you start going more west,
So
then east.
now we talking about Atlantis underwater.
Okay.
All right, now this is an article where the drowned guys live. Believe it or not, but this is what modern day Atlantis looks like. Right? Lost beneath the waves, the depths of the oceans are lined with sunken cities, flooded crypts, drowned forests and structures. While some are completely submerged, others are partially waterlogged. These drowned cities hold myths and secrets of the deep. Here's a glimpse of the sunken world lost to watery wreckage. Now, what this is talking about, they got actual whole cities that they found under the oceans, right? Like if you look up Bimini Road, let's go look it up just so we got time.
Hey, we gotta look up that word maroon too.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to it because that's part of the Gullas. The Gullas is they called them Maroons when they was they chased them out. This is a group of islands off of the Carolinas, and I'll show it to you. But right now we on what I tell you put in there?
Shit, I went blank too. Shit. Start with P.
We was talking about Bimini Road. Bimini Road.
Bimini.
No, Bimini. Bimini Road.
Oh yeah, Bimini Road. Got it right here. Oh yeah, you on something here, bro? Let me say this in your folder.
Yeah, so when they're telling you Atlantis sank, this is what they're talking about.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. You want this
you see
map
that
right
lion
here?
underwater statue?
Yeah, I got it right here. I got it.
You see the diagram? Get the diagram too, so they can see the layout.
I got it. Now you already know. I got it. You already know. That's a good layout right there, because you got this right. I ain't never heard of this. This is another part to my Atlantis tape. Let me get this like a Ishtar. It look like Hathor.
Now this over here, right?
Yeah.
Now the next one is we're gonna pull it up just so we can have the picture, so we can just go through the pictures real quick. The other one is Japanese underwater city of giants. Giant city. They got stairs where one step is like 13 feet high.
Let's see what we get. All right, here we go right here.
Mm-hmm. This is on the other side of the world from what you just seen.
The mirror flip.
Bimini Road is down near Cuba.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. It's somewhere down there. This is in the Pacific.
Hey, can it be a 3 mirror flip? So where it's three
Oh yeah, we ain't done.
Okay.
Remember I told you that there was that they rerouted the Nile to fill in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, you told me it, yeah.
Watch this. Underwater Alexandria, Mediterranean.
Oh yeah, you going somewhere with this one.
They believe that they discovered Cleopatra's tomb down there recently in the last couple of months.
See, underwater Alexandria, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's see.
Did you put in Mediterranean?
Oh no. Hold on, I gotta put this in now. It's right here, supposed to be it right here, right? Look,
See that right under that
statues. Oh shit, son.
There you go. Now you own it. Just click on there and you can see our pictures under that to stay with the same topic.
Okay, all right.
Because all of them, that's dealing with the same underwater city.
Get the hell out of here. Why they ain't telling niggas about that, bro? Look at this. This is all the Egyptian shit, man.
Yeah, that's in the Mediterranean, right off northern Egypt.
Oh yeah, it's our land anyway. We already know. I got a couple already, man. On that one.
Yeah, we don't need all of them.
Okay, what else you got?
Okay, it's a city in the Atlantic. No, we ain't gonna worry about that. Let's just go over these photos and look at the underwater, the ancient civilizations that passed.
Hey, what about that one where they got the people chained together in the circle? You saw that one?
Yeah, that's something else. I was gonna pull that up, but I ain't gonna pull that up.
That's all right. This is fire right here, bro.
This is ancient
shit. Like limestone, man. It's like fucking limestone.
It's made out of everything else that Hollywood called Egypt is made out of.
Dang.
We gonna get into all that in 1 minute. Okay, let's go next picture. We just looking at the pictures we just pulled. This is underwater Mediterranean.
Why didn't it go through? Oh, okay. Let me go back. Okay. This that road right here.
Bimini Road.
Yeah.
Right. This is Bimini Road. It's an underwater roadway. Let's go to Google and get the headlines of it so they can see what it's talking about.
Bimini Road, sometimes called Bimini Wall, is a underwater rock formation near North Bimini Island in the Bahamas. The road consists of 0.8 kilometers long northeast southwest linear feature and composed of roughly rectangular to sub-rectangular limestones. Yeah, we built with limestone. That's how you know it's our shit. We built it. I'm telling you, man. That's how you know it's our shit right there.
Okay, now let's look at some of the pictures of that. How many you get for Bimini Road? 2?
Right here. It's another one.
You see how it's laid out?
Yeah.
It's a city. You had roadways.
Yeah.
If you had roadways, that means that you had some form of transportation that went on the roadways.
That's right. That's right.
But I ain't the one to talk, so you ain't heard it from me. Let's go into the next picture. Okay, so this is the artistic diagram of Bimini Road and how it's laid out. So this is the city. So this is the old, what they call Tartarian civilizations. When the grid was flipping from Nibiru coming, that's how come they kept coming from under the water to back under the water. Right? So if you read in Genesis, this came a time where they said the floods was gonna have to stop, right?
Yeah.
And they won't destroy the earth by water, but by fire next time.
That's right.
All right. So the covenant that the rainbow is to the memorial to El Elo, one of the Elohim, that he won't allow the earth to be destroyed by the whole tectonic plates shifting, the highlands to low and the lowlands to high. Right? So now, what that translates in modern understanding of the Galactic Council agreement between Earth and Nibiru was this. They would readjust the orbit of Nibiru so it doesn't cause the physical Earth tectonic plates to flip, because now it'll be just out of reach. But the thing that they can't avoid is the flipping of the electromagnetic grid of the Earth. Now, the electromagnetic grid of the Earth, if you see, it's a torsion field. Right? So this field, where south is supposed to be up. And where north is supposed to be down. Right? And that's why they had us disoriented, because they changed our polar orientation.
Yeah, I feel like that, man. I feel like that's happened to us.
Right. It's self-explanatory. Okay. Now, Earth, the south gets the sun more than the north. Right. So right below event horizon level to the sun, the sun shining on one part of the earth, making it more what you call tropical than the other part.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That means that the earth is slightly up to the south of us,
Mm-hmm.
to the moon. I mean, the sun. The
Mm-hmm.
sun is south in its primary origin in relation to the sun. It's up
Mm-hmm.
south.
Mm-hmm.
But the moon is primarily north in its orientation to its position of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the dark night satellite run between the two, north to south polar orbit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's an odd orbit to put a satellite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's to hold the hologram. So now you got this game of the gods. Now we reprogramming the computer, the algorithm, in order to keep Nibiru from flipping the physical grid of the earth, and they
Mm-hmm.
only flip the electromagnetic grid instead.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Ah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
changing the Shu Men back to Shu Tefnut.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's called the restoration of the gender covenant. Pull up Shu Tefnut once again so they can see
Okay.
the sky over the earth.
All right. Like this.
Then go to images.
All right, I got you. I'm gonna save it in the folder. Right here. This is the one high. I'm gonna try to find like a color one.
Yep, that's the one right there.
Let's see if we find another one. Better one than that one.
The best one is this. It's gonna be blue.
Yeah. It's like now this one right here is a good one too. I'll save it. But the blue showing the sky blue, showing okay, let's see, that's probably the best one they gonna let us have over here. Let's see. Oh, right here, here you go, right here, the one you talking about. Right here. We got it, baby. Let me load up. Yeah, break that down a little bit more, man. They saying break that down the Shu Tefnut joint, man, because they
we about to go back to Google. Go back to Google.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Go type in Kansu, KHONSU. We need a picture of Kansu with the description of his characteristics on it. So you scroll through there. There go one right there on the second row, second from right.
Right here.
The other way. Your other right.
Right here.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, Kansu,
Nope.
Kansu, Haru, Ra.
No, that's
Haru
not
first.
Kansu. That's the wrong one.
Well. This one I just clicked?
Yeah, the picture, that's not who I'm looking for.
Oh, you looking for what Kansu you looking for?
Go back to the picture. Go back to the picture Shu and Tefnut. Let me see. I'm blow it up. I have to see what it is in the middle.
Hold on, you talking about like the dude right here in the middle right here?
Yeah.
Like Anubis.
That's not Anubis. That's Kanoum, I think is how you pronounce it.
You talking about Amun, right? Amun Ra?
No, his name is like Kanoum.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about now. You talking about
KH?
Yeah, KHUM. I'm gonna tell you, like this is his name right there. Come on, this dude right here. This dude right here with the ram's head.
Right. Now find one that gives his character traits. Don't say that picture. Say the one that's go to the one that's gonna have his character traits on it.
I got you.
I'm still not feeling that's the right guy.
I think that's him, dude. You looking for right there. Let's see. Let me type in. Let me put like this right here. Now, this is gonna break it come close right there. Here you go, right here.
Do that look like the guy that was holding up the
Yeah, it's him. That's him. Hey, what y'all think in the chat? They say yep. They say yep. They say somebody says Gib, but I think it looked like I think
it's not Gib.
No, it ain't Gib because he only got this type of headdress.
Go back and look at it again. You need to blow it up so we can see the
Okay,
head.
all right, let me go to it. Let me go to it
better.
right here. Then I'll tell you what. Let me blow it up right here for you. It's well that hey, you know what? It could be shoot because
that's who it is.
Yeah, because that
you see
right
you
there.
see who behind him, right?
Yeah.
That's who we was just looking at behind him.
Yeah, this shoe because that's that one feather. He was one that wrote that feather like that too.
And that's Mother Tefnet of Sky, Mother Sky.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the noon, you see how the stars is in the blue? That's what we're talking about. The primordial noon. That's the sky that's made up of melanin. That we call the darkness of space. Dark matter.
So is that saying the wind holding up the sky? That's what it's saying?
The moisture, those are the children.
Okay.
Right? Let's go into the story. Let's go back to Google and let's go into the story.
Okay. Oh, not that story. The story of the
Doing Tefnet.
Okay.
No matter of fact, it's a good video on YouTube.
Yeah, send it to me real quick. I can load it up.
Okay, let me pull it up.
No, we black people, we like videos. Are Moors. They don't like the word black. I like the word black. It's street. It's strong. It's powerful. I like it, but I'm a advanced.
Here you go.
Are you trying?
I'm setting it up.
All right, let me get it. Like that. Oh yeah, this one right here gonna be fire. All right, let me get it. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Right? If you don't, hey, hit that bell. If you don't receive a notification from us every day, come back and check with us. Like I said, we're dropping the brother Rod Hayes Cash App in the link if you want to show him some love. We take $1, $10, whatever you got.
You got to show me love.
Everybody drop them a
there you go, the red one right there.
Right there. Huh?
The red one right there.
Yeah, right there. I saved it enough. Damn, come on. All right, let me go right here. I got you. Boom. Human resonance are a set of spectrums peak in the extreme low frequency portions of the Earth electromagnetic spectrum. The Schumann resonance are globe electromagnetic resonance generating at exciting by lightning discharge in the capital formed by the Earth's surface and the isosphere.
Right, which is basically the short form of that is it's the electromagnetic grid of the Earth. Okay, now type in Egyptian God men, M-I-N.
Okay, all right. Hey, I hope it don't. Hey, you know what? I can't pull up the God men because they flagged me for that last time.
Yeah, we want the definition. You can leave it on the main page then.
That's right. Yeah, that's good right there. Men is an ancient Egyptian religion. That's wrong. That's crazy. Them niggas lying like a.
Just read it. Just read it.
A god of fertility and harvest, embodiment of masculinity principles. He was also worshipped as the lord of the eastern desert. His cult, organized in pre-dynastic times, 4 millennium BCE, men was represented with the phallus erecting. hey, and I can't see that last word. It says a frill in his raising right hand. Yeah, the frill. That's like
Yeah, so that's for thrashing. But
Yeah.
look at what it say.
Mm-hmm.
Men is the god of sexual virility of men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now remember who Shu was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the resonance again?
The Schumann resonance. Schumann resonance.
That's double masculine. That's the wrong polarity for Earth.
Yeah, so you gotta be masculine and feminine.
Right, which is Shu Tefnut.
Okay.
Now you see why the homosexuality among males is in the air.
Okay. Go ahead. You're
It's
going
in the
to
electromagnetic frequency.
go ahead.
So when we flip the grid,
Go ahead.
shit gonna change. The grid flip is going from Shu Men back to Shu Tefnut.
The feminine energy is coming back and getting its balance back.
Right. Now
Mm-hmm.
remember, Tefnut right there, right, represents the mother sky,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he is Shu and Tefnut.
Big Rod. You know, I've been for anybody that don't know, you should definitely go follow Rod Hayes or what's your other page? Morpheus Mysticus.
Yeah.
Brother super
Eee,
tapped in like on
drop
the
some
spiritual
stars.
side and with the laws. He already know what's going on.
Look, they whole shit over with, dog. It's the rap.
Right.
Can't file no paperwork with them because you're keeping them artificially in charge by doing that.
You giving them administration. You giving them consent to administer.
Yeah.
And I know that's your perspective. That's why I wanted to bring you on too, because we trying to get everybody like the whole reason for this is so everybody can like we were just talking about
Look,
it earlier. Everybody can get out of the bills
up
and start
until
focusing on what's real.
up until January the 4th, 2019, we was under a contract of an interim government that was hired by the Crown of England to run government on our territories. The United States government is two corporations that merged. If you go back into history, you're going to read about the Virginia Company
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to read about the Northwest Trading Companies.
Mm-hmm.
Their specialty was trading in slaves, but they also traded in spice, they traded in furs, and they traded in animals.
They branched out to be some of the first insurance companies, right?
Yep. And they also established Wall Street.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Wall Street used to be a slave market. It still is on the what they call the black market.
mm-hmm.
Walmart been had a back page for ever since it been there, where they've been human trafficking, sex trafficking, adrenochrome trafficking. They've been doing all they dirt, but they've been covering it up with Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Right.
Right? That's how they've been laundering their money. This all recorded now. The FBI got it all recorded now. So when we pull the Freedom of Information Act, we can go read this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I'm just one of them motherfuckers that I'm just nosy. I want to know what's going on the land.
Straight up.
I want to know who is, because the last time I was in physical form, these motherfuckers wasn't here.
Straight up.
So I'm trying to figure out who the fuck is on the land keeping the chiefs suppressed.
mm.
That's why this word don't make sense to us because in our last round on this planet wasn't
See,
like that.
look, Bree, you didn't even
Look,
last
I be
five
walking down
minutes
the
and you
street
already out
sometimes,
here.
dog. Look, I swear to God, I walk down the street sometimes and I be like, what the fuck is this shit going
Man,
on around here?
hey,
This shit look retarded to me.
nothing makes sense on purpose, man. Nothing makes sense on purpose. Everything
Facts. Wayfair got exposed. Yep.
Right. So now they just gave a report. Somebody just sent me a receipt about mass arrest that took place today. So I got that receipt. You know, I was trying to tell y'all who did
From
it.
the tribunals.
Yeah, they been getting indicted through the JAG on the American side. The ones that's not in America have been being indicted through Interpol.
They over in Greece trying to hide out, right?
They ain't no hideout. Every country involved now.
Mm.
They activated every sleeping royal family on Earth at the same time.
Mm.
Mm.
That mean this shit was bad.
That's
So coming to find out, the motherfuckers that created the condition couldn't even figure out how they created it. They didn't
ooh,
fucked around and did some shit they can't undo.
ooh.
So now
Mm.
they gotta disturb me to come fix this shit. Now my big mama and my mama and them, they gotta conjure me to fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like dealing with human shit.
Right.
Because as long as you don't understand this human shit, you can't reach your God form.
Ooh.
Big
Yes,
facts.
sir.
Big
That's
facts.
what we was just talking about. We was literally
The
just
the
talking about that.
racism, the sexism, the
Ooh. All that
child
is a
abuse,
All
distraction.
the isms, all the isms, all the systems.
all that shit. Right, you got to rise above it,
It's a
Yep.
and you
distraction.
got to realize everything that's outside of you is happening inside of you
That's
at the
right.
same time.
Exactly.
Silent Wars.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so once that part click,
As within, so
you
without.
you can start. You gonna automatically your brain gonna adjust
Mm-hmm.
because it's gonna be like saying this is not matching what I already know in my DNA.
Period. It don't feel natural. It don't even feel. I can't. You.
Right.
That's why we so depressed and
Yeah.
we're
Big
not
facts.
flowing naturally. With is what's causing us to go fucking backwards or just we're. I just feel like we're really naturally like righteous beings because we are a reflection of God. But then you have all this sin in the world, and that's why it don't sit right with us because it's just
What did
it's
Christopher Columbus, stenographer, say when he came over here? He was like, "That's the closest people I'd ever seen to God."
Yep. Because we was never
yeah.
supposed to want the land. We
Because
had the
we're a
land.
reflection. We're a reflection
It's
of the
only
Most
one
High.
thing though. See, the problem that we don't know about ourselves. Why did
Mm.
they pick us? Why did they come pick on us?
That's
You
a
talking about
good
the
question.
melanated being?
No,
No,
that's
the
over here on
motherfuckers
this
that
land.
came was melanated.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get tricked into that racist
Mm-hmm.
shit.
Yeah,
That's why you
I'm with
can't
you.
see.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you. I was yeah.
Yeah, that's why we can't see the enemy because they look like us,
Exactly.
but they ain't us.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Them dirties.
Yeah. So look, all the time when you looking back on the history, our character, our nature is what they're
Mm-hmm.
going to exploit.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to replace our natural drive to be righteous and upright, that connection we got with the divine force, but they weaponized it and used it as religion to trap us in a dogma. Because when we feel that we doing something righteous and right in our heart, you can't hook 100,000 horses up to us and make us change our mind as long as we think we doing what's righteous.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But if we get a hint that this shit ain't right, we start bagging the fuck up, talking about, nah, wait a minute, what you mean? Right? That ain't what my mama told me, motherfucker. That
Right.
shit don't match.
It don't sit
Right.
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 My big mama told me we ain't came on no ships and to put this shit back together and leave no stone unturned.
Facts.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna put this shit back together. It's put together, but we gotta wake the people up. Hey, look, we got our shit.
What's the all right? So I'm gonna ask all y'all question. What's the quickest way to find self? From y'all personal perspective.
Nah, tapping with Rod. I just that's why we brought him on here, bro. When I tell you, like, it's a wealth of knowledge right here. Tap, like, just ask away, bro.
Yes, sir. So, Rod, like, so what do you say, like, from your perspective, man, in your years on this plane of existence, man? So, what would you say for your experience of your expertise of being here as a being on this world for however many lifetimes? In this specific lifetime, how would you best give the unenlightened man the best idea of how to find self,
Go
not
within.
self in general?
I tell them to learn meditation,
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
to learn self-talk,
Mm-hmm.
most underrated of all of the uh, sciences of self is self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
You can lie to
mm,
everybody else, but you know you're lying
Mm-hmm.
mm.
because you can't lie to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
So now, when you tapping into that God energy and you say, I need the answer, what book I need to get to find this piece to this puzzle? Your God self got to give you the right answer. He can't give you no wrong answers. It's
Facts.
against
It's
galactic
natural.
law.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
You're not allowed to deceive yourself.
You can't. That's the
You
thing.
can look. You can
That's it.
willfully neglect the guidance that you give yourself,
That's right.
but you cannot neglect. You're gonna know that
Mm-hmm.
you did it. You're gonna know that you didn't trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck what another motherfucker say. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna holler at the old girl with her fine ass, but nah, she wouldn't fuck with a nigga like me. How the fuck you know,
Right.
nigga? Go over there and at least say hi. I see chick. I just want to say hi to you. I don't even care if you don't speak back. I'd just rather speak to a beautiful woman than an ugly ass man. Shit, I'd rather speak to a beautiful woman than any man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we've been taught to fear what we are, so we can't never express who we are. Learn that self-talk.
Yeah.
Then you can send yourself to get answers, and they're gonna be like, how in the fuck did I know that shit?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna go back, and then it's gonna come together like the matrix in your mind and
Facts.
shit. Click,
Facts.
click,
Facts.
ching,
Facts.
churn, churn. And then you're gonna remember everywhere where you seen the pieces to the puzzle that gave you the answer.
Facts.
You know everything already. You just don't know how to access it.
Ah, my God, that's what I'm talking about. He said
You know it already.
you
Yeah.
know everything. We know everything.
It's all
And,
within.
and I feel like when you ask the question, how do we find ourselves? I feel like it's, of course, within, but to be a little bit more specific, it's our thoughts and our emotions.
Yes.
Whatever your mind thinks, your body is going to follow. Whatever you feel, you're going to express. So the moment you
Now,
start
Mm-hmm.
to
the thing about that is this: your emotions is a navigation system.
correct
Mm.
You're not supposed to get locked into the emotion that undermines your manifestation.
the
Facts.
logic. Mm-hmm.
Right. You're supposed to read your emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Your girl come in the room and say something to you, bitch, what the fuck? And then you be wondering, why in the fuck am I even mad?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think
Once you
logically.
can,
That shit all out of context.
like,
Right?
once you can master that,
But
That's the ego.
boy.
we talking about dealing with the self. This is what you asked me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we realize that it's out of context, we operating out of what you call a broken program. The program is broke. Now you have to monitor your navigation system so that you can put the emotion where it belongs.
Exactly.
I don't want to
Emotion.
sleep with the
Emotion.
enemy.
Energy. Emotion. If you angry, you got to learn how to channel it. You got to transmute it and transform it.
But the first thing you got to do is know the context.
Exactly. You got
That's
to
where the logic. That's where the thoughts
where
come in
where
at
where where.
Right. Because now what you're doing is you balancing your heart
with your mind.
with your mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Now, once you get this understanding of how to start moving along the focal point, you starting to see what your emotions are really there for to teach you. Now you
Mm-hmm.
can look back in retrospect on your life at the way you felt, and then you can see exactly clearly what the lesson was that you overlooked back then because your emotions was out of context.
Mm-hmm.
When you start putting them in a proper context, you're gonna find every time you had an emotion that was out of context was tied to a thinking error. So you get that
Mm-hmm.
self-talk. Then you need fasting is the way to learn to control your emotions. You talking about reading them, now you got to learn how to control them. When you learn to control them, it don't mean you don't feel them. It just means that your emotions don't rule your life. You're gonna carry on.
You
Logic.
don't react as heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. Yeah. We got to learn how to respond instead of react. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't react to the world. Respond to the world. You know, the world is yours. This is your baby. The world is our baby. You know, everything
Look,
that happens on this planet is based on us to experience and to really like what Free say, logic. It's about into the law of everything. You understand itself is to understand yourself through the eyes of others. It's a projection of others, how they see you. You know what I mean? Like right now, I see myself in all of y'all right now, and it's the fact
Can
that
now
we sit
I'm
it.
finna tell you. I'm finna tell you a secret one now.
Go ahead.
All right. You can write a script.
Mm-hmm.
You can write a script. The shorter and to the point it is, the better.
Yep.
mm-hmm.
Right?
Write it down and make it plain.
Read it for 3 days in a row. Every time you think about it, read it. Then forget about it. the script is going to be still running in your subconscious mind,
Program.
generating the energy of manifestation.
Yep. You
Mm-hmm.
program. You just programmed yourself.
Mm.
That's the
Somebody write that
power.
in the comments
That's
so we can pin it.
that's the power of vision
Somebody write that in the
boards.
comments so
Li-
we can pin that, please.
listen, y'all. When I hope y'all listen to what he's saying, because this is how I beat my case. I can pull it out right now. I literally wrote by the end of March I was going to complete my case. March the 31st, my writ of possession was
11/11.
unserved. I manifested what I thought and know, not believe what I know, and I wrote it
Gnosis.
down and I made it plain, simple, and it
Hmm.
can and I worked on it. It activated. As soon as you write something down, your mind naturally and automatically wants to figure it out, whether you aware of it or not.
Big facts.
Your body follows your mind. So if you write down, I am free. If you write down, I am love. If you write down abundance, it don't have no choice but to manifest.
Yeah.
Bree, go get that comment and pin it
See,
for
they
me.
taught us how to look. They taught us how to program ourselves with bullshit.
Yeah.
Seriously, they taught us how to program ourselves with Coke 45 and Schlitz malt liquor.
and and and
Mm-hmm.
and, and music that's talking
Low
about
vibe.
killing and it's just
But
insane.
that's the war cry on the land for real, for real.
Yeah,
See, I was just gonna say, tell them
That's so
about
that
your perspective on the
all of the
music.
chiefs right now. Look, all of the chiefs right now, all they slightly agitated.
I agree.
All of the chiefs. When you talking to these brothers that's aware, they slightly agitated because they know something wrong and they know they supposed to be doing something, but they can't quite get their
That's
finger
right.
around what
That's
they
right.
supposed to be doing.
That's right. I agree. I totally agree. I always used to say them brothers that we call thugs, them sisters we call thugs. I'm like, no, those are leaders. They just don't know how to express themselves in
The
a sense that's,
Warriors.
yes. They just need to be guided. Like you said, they're
Mhm.
agitated.
Hey, look, our family philosophy of all of the tribes, no matter which one you pick. If anybody in the tribe learns something that all of the tribes can benefit, he's obligated to offer it to all of the tribes.
Mm.
That's right.
Right?
Damn, Bree, we didn't even know that that's what we was doing with this page.
Hmm.
Yep. Anybody that when you become aware of something that's a benefit to all of the tribes, you're supposed to start talking about it, getting the word out to the rest of the clan.
Listen, baby, I'm out here blowing this whistle so motherfucking loud. Listen,
Hey,
this
Rod, you
horn
gonna love
blowing
her.
like I'm like. Let me tell y'all, my spirit. So I'm like, yo, I don't even know. It's like
She
something.
Geechee, Rod.
It's some.
You should catch her.
It's like something possesses my body. Like you better do this shit, or like other else. What are you doing?
Yeah. Are you, are you in it
Like
to
what
win
the
or not?
fuck?
She'll
Look,
get
motherfuckers
excited and
think
come
they
out of nowhere and just start fucking whistling and doing the chant, the Geechee chant, and she don't even know she doing it.
It's like oh man.
I be over here.
I be like,
See, she be doing that shit right there. She don't even know she do.
yeah.
See how geek she is, bro. This shit's hilarious.
Let's go.
Hey, this
That's
live,
right.
hey, this live is live, man.
You got to understand that everything is a rhythm, everything is a vibration. When you have to understand when our ancestors, like right now, we in a battle with papers, we casting out spells, whereas our ancestors, they fought with their hands and not, but they had the rhythm of a beat. It was like their why was in the rhythm of just like music and that cry. Let me tell y'all something. The day that I dropped my last letter in the mail that unserved my written position, I went back home to where I was born, where I was created, and I screamed over the rivers out loud. It was like a
Mm-hmm.
cry just came
You
out.
was crying out to your ancestors.
Banshee screaming.
And that shit,
Hey, Rod, now tell her, because before the case, I was like, go home. Like, right after the day you left, I was like, go home, smoke you one, because she smoked. I want you to tell them about your perspective about us and our connection with the tree.
Okay, so first of all, it's a mirror to carbon melanin.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mirror, so when you use it, it creates a hologram with your melanin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now you're gonna get the munchies. You go on. Listen. You go on to eat. that sweet sugar
Look,
shit.
I had
Right?
my
Yeah,
apple pie before
for
you came
real,
home.
man. Hey, you see, he ain't
All
lying
right
though, man.
now, the sugar gives what they call a dirty burn in the brain,
Mm.
creating a soot. This is the awakening the Lord set. That's why
Ooh.
cannabis is the dog plant.
Mm.
It's ruled by Canis major, Canis minor,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
right? And so
Oh, my man,
THC,
getting into the stars. Okay.
the THC,
I told you he tapped in, bro.
the THC creates the neurological hologram for you to be able to see what they
Hold on.
call
I
angel
gotta
vision.
light my shit up.
Bro,
I'll
so
listen
like,
to
so
this.
check it. Hey, can I let me jump in real quick. So like, just like I'm going off exactly what you're saying. So I don't know anybody in here ever dabbled with DMT. See that like that. That's what the mushroom stuff is like. Mike, when you try DMT, try try with
Let's do
CBD.
something different. Right now, we talking about the cannabis.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. I'm talking about. It's the same thing. Only reason I mentioned the DMT is because I use it with the cannabis because the cannabis is it accesses the DNA. Exactly what you just explained. The
So
reason
the
why I
DMT, the DMT like stimulates more DMT to be produced by the pineal,
yeah.
and the
Mm.
pineal kind of like light up in your head.
That's why so much
Mm-hmm.
war on this plant, y'all. Do y'all understand? Think about this shit they
Somebody
say.
said Rob from another realm.
Hey, so look, when you get the dirty burn, you're creating the soot. Now, also when you smoking, you ingesting the CBD oils.
Mm.
The oils mix with the soot, right?
How the fuck do you know this?
Now you got an electromagnetic current jumping nerve cells in the brain, right? Dendrites and axions is firing neurons, and so what happens is the CBDs in the brain, the polyunsaturated fat, becomes a conductor. It makes the flow from one nerve cell to the next nerve cell happen with less resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Now your capacitor is firing on full throttle.
Mm.
Big facts. And it's crazy because if you, it was just what he talking about the capacitor. If you look at the brain, you ever see Back to the Future, the flux capacitor?
Mm-hmm.
The flux capacitor look just like the cerebellum.
Mm. It's all connected, designed off of us, bro.
Now
Yeah,
watch this. Look up something called an endocannabinoid system.
yeah, endocannabinoid. Yeah,
That's your spirit body.
yes, yeah.
Mm.
When it's weak and you smoke the THC, it's going to put you to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to go in
Mm.
the astral to draw more light.
Facts, my guy.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Say that shit one more time.
You got okay. So when your spirit body is weak, your endocannabinoid system,
Mm-hmm.
and you smoke the THC, you're gonna fall asleep,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're
right?
not gonna dream either.
Right. But you're gonna have to go to the astral because you need to get the extra astral light to strengthen the endocannabinoid system.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you call building up your resistance.
Yep.
My God.
Mm.
Bro, my man's a genius over here.
I told you, big dog.
Did y'all building up resistance? Let me light up
Because
all of
he talking about all the subjects that we split. That literally, he talking about the first, like the first man. He hitting on all the logics of everything: astronomy, astrology, electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Hitting on everything because all it's all together. It's all connected.
That's why I wanted. That's why I wanted you to come on first, drop the remittance, so that way you could be a part of this, because I knew he would rock your shit.
Yeah, this the shit I like talking about. I love that
I
moment.
already,
But this
I'm
my
already know
right
it,
here. I'm talking about, man. I'd explore the spirit, the astral, man.
bro. Y'all don't think I don't.
I'd
All the people I tapped in with, I don't think you're gonna find somebody more well versed in spiritual knowledge and connecting it back to us as a people than Rod. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you to be here, God. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to hear to get that tone of voice, man.
Yeah, I'm coming. When I get an opportunity to speak to the family, I'm coming.
period.
Come with that fire. I'm talking about.
We
Hey, I'm
appreciate
telling y'all better be taking notes, man. Especially if y'all trying to understand the spiritual nature of being. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to be here, be present
Now
now.
the spiritual warfare becomes physical when we start to reclaim the land.
Yep.
Fact. That's why they're
it.
afraid of us. That's why they're afraid of everything that we're
Yep.
doing. That's why we are the threat because we are the threat to their establishment. We us waking up to our spiritual being, to us knowing who we are. That's the scariest thing the system could ever come across.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about us. It ain't got nothing to do with us writing no contracts. It's about us understanding that we are.
Hey, Bree, before you get high, don't forget to save this live when we done.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Oh,
aware.
she about to partake too.
Mm-hmm.
I just got finished, so I'm good.
Right now.
Hey, so look. So once you build up your endocannabinoid system, your spirit body, right, you become more relaxed being who you are.
Period.
Facts.
Now, it's a side effect to that.
More than
Y'all
relaxed.
ever heard the term assassin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's a
ever
thing.
do the research on the history of the word?
Tell us shit.
Okay, so
You said assassin?
yeah, the word assassin comes from hashashin.
That's beautiful.
It's an Arabic word. It means those who smoke the hash.
Mm.
Say that again.
Hashashin.
Hashashin.
That's beautiful.
Okay, now this was an Islamic group in the Middle East, and when they smoke the herb, the hash, they form a hive mind, and the leader of the hive
Bruh.
can tell them when to assassinate his enemies.
Mm.
So he can activate them just by telepathic communication because they tied
Eee.
in on that frequency
Mm.
through the hash, the hashish, which is partially decomposed marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
What the?
Mm.
What damn?
Oh yeah, it's a lower form.
Hmm
She used to get you
It's no, it's
faded.
a more condensed form.
Yeah. It'll get
Can
you
we
Now,
get
tripping.
a minute? Can we get a minute? Can we get a minute to digest? Can we just let me just give like give us five? Hold on, let me give us 5 seconds of silence. Goddamn it! Hold on. Do
oh
y'all
no,
hear?
Hey,
I'm finna finish telling y'all.
hey, Rob,
So over
what's
here
your
on
sign,
this
bro?
land, we had a custom, and we used to smoke the herbs with the visitors because when they smoke the herb, if they try to lie, we instantly know it. We become a human lie detector test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why they always
That's
had
why
to
you can
smoke
feel
the
them
peace
energies
pipe.
when you high.
And anybody don't smoke the peace pipe,
Yo.
we didn't do business with them. We can't trust them.
Have any man, bro? So one of the craziest things is like on shrooms. Whenever I would take shrooms and I would smoke weed, like I know I don't smoke weed before I take shrooms because I want to be able to take off with no unimpeded.
Hmm
But when the shrooms hit a peak, I smoke to pretty much keep myself balanced on earth, right? But
hmm
I started realizing that. So I was smoking, it'll chill me out, and then somebody would come around me, somebody of negative energy. The weed would show me everything about them. Like you could see they whole outer shell, they whole aura, they mask and everything. And I would get the worst fear in the world. It's not necessarily fear. I think it's like it's the astral connection, the astral cord or whatever that aura is. Whenever that aura comes into your aura, you feel it. It's being projected onto you. You feel you pick up the energy, anything that's on them. And yeah, man, what you just said, like how you said, like yeah, bro, go ahead, my bad, man. I had to throw that in there.
So we used to use different herbs with it. Like we might put rose petals in it.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah, Lotus, all that. Blue
We
Lotus.
might put lavender leaf in it. I mean,
Yeah.
lavender petals.
lavender. Mm-hmm.
Right, lavender is to help relax you.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
help you sleep too.
Hmm
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Have you ever used Blue Lotus? You ever rock with the Blue Lotus?
I
Egyptian
haven't.
blue,
Not this go round. I'll
but
put it that
you
way.
know about it, right? You know about the Egyptian blue lotus?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the flower that's all on the Egyptian here, hieroglyphs and stuff. But blue lotus changed my life. Blue lotus wine.
hmm
I don't know, man. I feel like we used to I feel like all of us used to kick it, man. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, when our last time kicking it all as a group, man, right before the flood came, we all kicked it. We was sitting there drinking blue lotus wine, having the same conversation. Straight up. I
Hell
know for a fact I knew y'all on my past. I know for a
yeah.
fact,
Hell
man.
yeah.
We was definitely kicking it in the past life. Fucking shit up, climbing pyramids and shit. Straight.
Scared, I'm gonna tell them to do some shit that they supposed to do anyway. The shit they already supposed to do. Um, all y'all job now is to take these videos. It's the fifth. This is the sixth one. No, this is number 7. And that makes sense. This is the 7th video. Take this information to your preacher. Lay it out in front of him. Tell him to watch it all before he respond. Tell him he's gonna be what you call that? Irritated, agitated, enraged, and angered. He's gonna be pissed off, and he gonna look stupid as fuck. But he gotta give you an answer. So, so far we sent 4. These next 3 I'm gonna put up as another post. So y'all know that the 7th seal is officially broken, and the 7th sun has officially risen to the highest position. Ain't nowhere else to go from here. I'm bumping my head on the ceiling on the other side of the glass ceiling that's on the other side of the glass ceiling. Ain't nowhere else to go. I can't rise higher than mama. It's not possible. It's not possible for me to be greater than that which I came from. But I can tell you this. It's possible for everybody to attain what I attained through diligence and hard work. Don't cry about that shit. Strap your motherfucking nuts on. Put on your whole armor of God. Or in this case, your whole armor of rod. Go out there. Challenge them motherfuckers with the facts. If I didn't bring the facts, they got to outdo what I did. If my shit not right, they got to show you some shit that's more correct and more right than I done showed you already. They're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to be able to tell you that I'm not who I say I am. Because I told y'all, any man that say he the Christ right now is a goddamn lie. The Christ is the Queen Mother Isis. I am the widowed son. The one that was born later. I'm the afterthought. And that's why everybody treated me like an afterthought. I should have had a baby before that nigga died. Let me go back and make one based off his energy signature just like him. I didn't even think about that when that motherfucker was here. I was too in love with that motherfucker. I need a duplicate. Wait, I don't need no man because can't no other man make no duplicate. Wait a minute, I got his energy. I got his seminal signature in my queen's chamber. All I got to do in my brain is send it to the king's chamber, shoot it down my spine, let it meet with an ovum, shoot it through my fallopian tube and rest in my uterus. That's the portal of life, and it'll correct any mistake I made because that's the queen of heaven and earth, and that's how parthenogenesis work within her. Immaculate conception, no semen. You need no goddamn man. You motherfuckers weak. So now you're going to understand why when I tell y'all that these women not going to accept no weak-ass niggas no more. Y'all niggas going to have to strap y'all nuts on. Do y'all work. I ain't do this shit to degrade no motherfucker, to make no motherfucker look bad, none of that. I ain't happy on this motherfucker the way it is. I ain't happy on this motherfucker the way it is. As long as these babies is food and sex toys, I'm not happy. As long as the women ain't allowed to be free and flourish as women and the feminine nature is gone and ain't nothing on this motherfucker but gloom and doom, I don't want to be here. So I got 2 options. I ain't suicidal, so that takes the first option off the table. I ain't killing myself. Only option I got left is to change this shit for the better. I got to take everything that they got and make that shit better. Now, if I was y'all these last 2 videos, this one and the one I got interrupted on before when the phone dropped the call, I would share the shit out of this to every motherfucking religious organization, secret society, and gangbanger I could find. And I would just ask them, before you cast judgment, there's 7 keys here. You got to go through all 7 of them to get to the crown, which is the one I'm doing now, the last one. They in order. There's 4, then 3. Right? 4, then 3. No. All of this connected dot ass shit. Myself, don't no woman want no doormat for a man. Don't no woman want a doormat for a man. But at the same time, she don't want motherfucking Hitler either. She don't want a tyrant in her house either. And it's the man's responsibility to bring the greatest essence of the woman out by trying to be the best man he could be, whether she there or not. If you about your business as a man, you're not going to find very much interest in a partial woman, a female. She's just female by gender. She's not a woman yet. She won't move you. She won't stir you. She won't get your attention. The pretty box, when you find out she dumb as a box of rocks, that shit not going to work no more.
You're going to take the plain Jane that can contribute to the cause over the motherfucker that look like a model that don't know that ditzy bitch. You know? So, any questions, comments, or concerns that I need to address before I get out of here? Thank you, Chelsea. Me and you got destiny. It's in your name. Destiny is in your name. Me and you got business to tend to, Chelsea. Your name is Holy Rod. Look at it. It's an anagram. Your last name. You already know what's up. Portia, you know what to do. Yep. I came to bring the pain, hardcore to the brain. Let's go inside the astral plane. So, the song is Everything They Owe, Ghetto Gospel, Everything They Owe, Ghetto Gospel, No More Pain, Staring Through the Rear View, Ambitions as a Rider, and Thug Style. It's one more. Under Pressure. If you run them in the loop, you can tap directly into the astral form of Tupac. Now, Tupac ain't gone. He's physically here. I seen him at the All Eyes on Me premiere with Shock G. He was there. Right before your very eyes, you won't even realize that you can't see me. Right? Now, also, not only was he with Shock G, he got videos on YouTube right now where he talking to you motherfuckers and y'all don't even know it's him. He in disguise. Now remember what he said. Right before your very eyes, you won't even realize that you can't see me. He there. Now, because people was going to think he was dead, and it would have caused an emotional backlash for them to send prayers up to a motherfucker that's not dead, he had to create something that they call an astral matrix. And the only way to tie you into his astral matrix is a song called No More Pain. And once you get in there, then that's where you see what he described as Thug's Mansion. It's a mental projection of the mind of Tupac Amaru Shakur, who y'all didn't know was the King Tut of Egyptian history that was ran over by the chariot and bust upside the head with the motherfucking anvil axe. It was like an axe, but it was made with a ball on the end of it. It's a battle tool. After they ran him over with the chariot, he didn't die. When they took him back into the palace, they whopped his ass in the head with this stick with a big stone, or a metal stone on the end of it. And they swatted him in the back of the head because they didn't want him to take power back then. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? You can't stop my little brother from getting his shit now. Big brother home, little brother go get your shit. That's how we do this. Little brother go get your shit. Anybody don't know what I'm talking about need to watch my Machiavelli military strategy Tupac Decoded video. Then y'all know where his territory is, and y'all know why his name is Tupac Amaru Shakur. Then that'll make a little bit more sense to you. All this shit, I'm telling you all this shit. In that video, I don't just stop with Tupac. I go all the way to Nipsey and tell y'all that this is the uniting of the red and the blue lodge. This is the red star and the fire and the blue star rising together for the first time in thousands of years. We finished with this bullshit, and I'm tired of motherfucking taking it. So, I hope y'all like me going through all them sayings for you, because sometimes it be so tedious that people get bored. But where we at right now, look, you're starting to see the ether come back. That's the top ether, because it's not going to come down low enough. But you can still see, you can see the connection. Anyway, I ain't going to hold y'all no more. Mazel, I'm glad you brought Easy up, because if I didn't resolve the Easy E matter, if I don't resolve the Easy E matter, I wouldn't be done, and I couldn't end this video. Because Easy E not dead either. Now,